Hi, my name is Richard, and I've been working with Olivia and Anthony on our strategic business proposal for Walt Disney. Our name is the Space Rangers, and what we are proposing is that Disney is taking on new themes and new characters, and they're incorporating them into Disneyland. And by taking on this new growth and these new storylines, they could potentially be losing their original fan experience and the original engagement of their clientele. Now, when they're taking on and introducing lands such as Star Wars Land, Toy Story Land, World of Avatar within Disney, this is something that they haven't done before. So we want to make sure that we break down the different steps, and our proposal is around what sort of growth they can take on without losing any of their core values and without giving up the experience in which people take on today going to Disney. Disney has always been known as where dreams come true. And this is very true. When you do go to Disneyland, it's a family experience. You bring your kids and you kind of immerse yourselves into this world. The challenges are managing new demand growth coming from additional in-park content without sacrificing the guest experience. And this is our top priority. Guest number growth is a vital part of theme park success, and Disney has seen its numbers rise and are projected to reach over 100 million in-park attendance. They need to stay up with their popular franchises. Mickey Mouse is still making money, but taking on the likes of Marvel and Star Wars, these are new characters that they can incorporate into our park. On the theme of keeping franchises up to date, the theme park will also include updating a few rides, which will include the beloved films that these fans have. And we will be adding a media rest and relaxation center that allows guests to sit on air-conditioned cabana as they charge their devices and rest until they are ready to continue their adventure. During the environmental scanning portion that we did of Disney, we did an internal and an external analysis. The internal analysis made us take a look at Disney and how Disney came about. Now, Disney was started in 1923, and it was started by Roy and Walt Disney. Walt had started out in California with a story about a girl in Wonderland, which we now know is the famous Alice, and this was his very first story. Now, Walt kind of started loving cartoons, and that was the first place that he took Disney, but they ended up needing to grow at one point. And this is where they led to start taking over in sectors such as TV, radio, resorts and amusement parks, cruises, movies, toys, and novelties, as well as various other divisions. After much success, Walt decided to branch out further with his cartoons and characters, and this is what brought about Disneyland. Now, when Walt used to go to the zoo or the carnival, he loved going, but he realized that he felt a little bit left out, and his kids were the ones always having the fun. This led Walt to come up with the idea of Disneyland, where it could be fun for the entirety of the family. These are some of the core values that are what drive Disney and drive Disneyland. The next kind of internal area that we covered was the financial standings of the company. Disney is very profitable, and they've seen nothing but growth and rise over the past 6 years. Their revenue has grown from 2012 to 2016 from $48.74 billion to $55.37 billion. Now, they have been quite steady across the board, although their cost of goods is steadily increasing as well as their sales. So as the company grows, you'll normally see fluctuations in costs, and as long as the sales and net income increase with these costs, then they are justified. Over the past 3 years, Disney has gone from $7.5 billion income to $9.3 billion net income. And this is a steady growth of profit. Organizational strengths and weaknesses are some of the biggest areas of Disney, because their strengths are the fact that they don't really have any competitors that are true direct competitors. And they've been around for so long that they basically own the market of what the idea of a Disneyland and so forth is. Some of the weaknesses, though, are the need to continuously recreate the wheel. Disney has been around for so long that they have certain standards to meet and various characters to keep around. With your market being majorly made up of children and need to be ahead of the next trend, Walt Disney has a weakness. This weakness is the fact that Mickey Mouse can only be Mickey Mouse for so long. And what we've seen Disney do continuously is put Mickey Mouse into new pop culture elements. This is something that is becoming more and more difficult, and something that leads to why Disney is taking on these acquisitions of such things as Marvel, Star Wars, and trying to branch out with other characters. The external analysis that we did was just around competitors. As I had just mentioned, there is no true competitor against Disney because there's no company that really dabbles in all the different diverse markets that they do. But since they do have certain companies such as Universal challenging the theme park status for Disneyland, there are other competitors that will come in the cartoon realm or the movie realm as well. Now, the business climate stated by Chief Financial Officer Jay Rasulo: you can't entertain a family on the one hand and then totally disregard the world and circumstances in which they live. Acting responsibly is core to our brand, and being such a large organization, it is on Disney to have corporate responsibility when it comes to political and environmental standards. These leads to business opportunities as well as business threats. The opportunity to take these responsibilities and move forward as a company is huge, and some of the threats that come around having such an eye on the company of how we take those steps and making sure that we don't take shortcuts when we build new rides, making sure that we have safety in place, and making sure that when we're adding on to the park, making sure we're considering ethical things such as compost and recycling and putting trash in the right area, making sure that we're leaving a good footprint on the earth. Now, our strategy here is to increase operations, sales, and marketing, and then as well as distribution of our themes. As an operations standpoint, we need to consider the idea of bringing on new characters and having them walk up around the park means that we need to hire the right people, hire them the right way. When it comes to sales and marketing and distribution, what we need to do is start marketing the idea that we're never going to lose our core values and we will continue to grow and consider the new popular trends in which you have. The guest experience is everything to us. When it comes to legal and ethical, we need to make sure we're not taking any shortcuts. Now, all we're doing is adding on to the park that we have already. So we've been through this rodeo before. So the idea of creating new rides and bringing in new people, we need to make sure that we create those rides the correct way and we bring in the correct people and we take care of them as the family that they are. The ethical considerations is with growth, you need to make sure that you're growing the correct way and you're leaving a good footprint. So leaving compostables, making sure we're not taking shortcuts on budgets, and making sure that we do take the correct considerations when we're making additions using the correct technology that are coming from the correct places and the correct companies and partnerships. Now, our proposal and budget. Our projection is to have $9 million in sales the first year, about $10.5 million the second year, and then $12.4 in the third year. Now, to mitigate these costs, we plan to increase ticket sales. And with ticket sales going up, there's always going to be that growth as well. So that will help our COGS and make sure that we are taking the correct route to grow. Our plan here is to increase our ticket prices on year one to $142, year two, $149, and year three, $155. Our strategy to implement this is bringing in new characters. So with the addition of Marvel and Star Wars, there's also characters in those worlds that have yet to take part in the Disneyland where they're walking around and interacting with our guests. We also want to bring in charging centers. So as technology grows, we make sure that there's a way to charge your cell phone when you want to take all your pictures. A guest experience here could be something along the lines of imagining that your phone has died and you don't have any sort of way to take a picture of your family enjoying the magic that is Disneyland, and with us providing them the ability to do so. Pixar is also growing in characters, and we want to bring those characters into the world. Pixar is a great franchise that is bringing out movies and new characters regularly that our fans quite enjoy. So bringing them and immersing them into the Disneyland world is very important to us. With that is resort updates. We want to bring in new rides and new features such as fireworks shows that are regulated and taken care of correctly, and making sure that our guest experience that has gotten us to where it is today doesn't change just because we're adding new pieces to the resort. Our evaluation strategy and our benchmark is we want to grow Disney as much as it continues to grow, if not more. But at the same time, the core values that got us here today are exactly what we need to make sure that we don't surpass.